Hello everybody. I haven't filmed a YouTube video for a couple of weeks. I apologize about that. Might even be longer than a couple of weeks. Anyway, you can always find me every Thursday night over on my Facebook page. So please be sure to follow me over there and like the Stamping Zoo. And you can find me over there and find all sorts of little creations. But you know what? This morning it was raining. I was working in here and I thought I'm going to make something special just for the YouTube channel. So I hope you like this. And needed a quick sip of soda there. As you can see, this is Lisa Harden. I am coming to you from Boise, Idaho. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I sell all of the products we'll be using today. If you do not already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you live in the United States, you can contact me, and I will be happy to send you some complimentary catalogs. And that's where we start to have fun, right? Because you can see all of the beautiful products that are available. And the catalogs are for purchasing as well as for inspiration. They have so many ideas for cards and other 3D products that you can make with all of these beautiful stamp sets. So today we're going to focus on using the Modern Heart stamp set and the Pigment sprinkles. These are both found in the annual catalog. So what started this was, of course, I had been working quite a bit with the Heart Suite that is in the mini catalog, and it's very beautiful and it's very fun, but I never want to forget about the products that are in the annual catalog. We have some perfectly beautiful products over there just waiting to be the star of the show for Valentine's Day, and this is one of them. This was a $1 million stamp set that was inspired and partially designed, I believe, by Steffi Helmschrott. And the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators get to do that once they've reached $1 million in sales. So it's part of their celebration. And this is just a really cool stamp set. If you follow Steffi on social media at all, it really looks like her style, and it's just fantastic. And it has some of the greatest sentiments in it. I think it's equally sentiments and images, right? So if you're looking for just a great all-around set, of course you can use it for Valentine's Day, but you can use it for thank yous or your all heart, you know, anything that you want. If someone needs a little pick-me-up, I think this would be a great set. And maybe that's what we're going to make today. So it's going to be a series of a few little note cards along with a little box, a little container that you can put them in. First, we want to start, we are going to, let's see. So this is 2.5 by 3.5 pieces of Fluid 100 watercolor paper, okay? And we're going to emboss this large heart image. Let me show you. We're going to emboss this large heart image on here. And if you're not familiar with this contraption that I'm using, it's this beautiful thing called the Stamparatus, also sold in the annual catalog. You definitely need to take a look at it. It is a precision placing tool that has a lot of great benefits to it. If you are someone who likes to make multiple cards, then this is the tool for you because you can place things just exactly where you want them. We're going to use it very basically today. But if you want more information about it, of course, just contact me. And we're going to start with Versamark. And you saw there that I was pouncing this embossing buddy on my watercolor paper first. That just removes all static and little fingerprints so that we can get a nice clean emboss. And actually with watercolor paper, I like to stamp it twice with the Versamark. And that's why I'm using the Stamparatus, because I can get exact placement both times. So I'm going to do 2. We need 2 more to finish the little gift set that I'm working on. So just quickly put this back in exactly the same spot. I know because I have this grid paper in here. And so those were my guides, okay? So I can just put this right back and do exactly the same thing again. And I don't have to size it up or place my stamp and hope it works. It's going to work. And if I don't get enough ink on there the first time, when I come back the second time, that will do it. Okay, so like I said, just one of thousands of uses for the Stamparatus. And so we're going to put that away. I think we're done with that for right now. Now we're going to do some really pretty embossing. This is going to be using our Shimmer White Stamp and Emboss powder. This comes in Shimmer White and Shimmer Black, and also in the annual catalog. Wow, we are hitting the annual catalog hard today. Now, I already have some in here because I've been embossing ahead of time for you. And so I want to make sure and get that really covered. I'm going to go over it a couple of times. Also, it's kind of fun to do that because you get more sprinkles, I think. So then I'm going to take the other one, do the same thing. Now, the Versamark is kind of a long, what do I want to say? It takes a long time for it to dry. That's why I can do 2 of them at a time and kind of set one aside. Okay, that got really shimmery. Let's see, this other one not so shimmery, but that's okay. Now I have to turn the heat tool on. Sorry in advance, but this is how we get this to work, isn't it? So you want to get your heat tool hot and then take it to the paper and just move it around the design, and you will see that this is tiny bits of wax, and it melts as you apply heat. And then, of course, you've got all those sparkles in there, and then they adhere to the wax, and before you know it, you've got a whole beautiful heart. Okay, then we're going to do the next one. That's as easy as it is. That's it. It's just beautiful. And you know when it's done because you can see it transforming under the heat gun. I don't know if that comes through on this recording, but just trust me, you can see it. It's easy to do. The hardest, well, what I want to say, not the hardest part, but the most important part is to prep the paper properly with the Embossing Buddy. Also sold in the annual catalog. I'm sounding like a broken record, right? Well, you know, what can I say? I love Stampin' Up! Products. They are great, and that's why I don't veer away from them. I just use Stampin' Up! Products because I can just rely on them. Now, speaking of, we're going to use our pigment sprinkles today. These are watercolor crystals, and they're beautiful. They come in 6 of our brights. So you've got Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green. Oh, sorry, this is Mango Melody. This is Melon Mambo, and Daffodil Delight. And let's see, I think I'm going to use the Melon Mambo. It's definitely a traditional heart color, isn't it? These are dried watercolor sprinkles. They are very intense. In fact, they come with a topper that's kind of like a salt shaker. I do not recommend that you open that and sprinkle it on all at once. It will just cover the paper way too much, and you will not get a kind of a watercolored look. You'll just get a solid color look. What I did instead is I have this paper piercer that's pretty long that I just set aside for things like this. And I just took from the top part, I took one of the little pinholes and I pierced it through the lid. And that is how I use this. Okay, I think I want to do this one. I think this is good. So you shake it on. I shake it kind of at an angle. That's just the look I'm going for right now, okay? And I wasn't very particular about it. We can add more. We can dry it and see how we like it, and then we can add more. And I'm going to use our Stampin' Spritzer. These come in a pack of 2, and they have a perfect fine mist, just perfect for activating these water crystals. So you can see here, we're starting to get a really cool effect with nothing more than just adding water. And I let it kind of sit for a while and see where I might like more, or maybe, you know, if you like less, you can kind of pick it up with a paper towel. I think we're good where we are right now, though. And I definitely want to activate a little more of this. I like a combination of full activation, where it's fully watered, and then partially dried. I think it's really pretty that way. So I'm going to set this aside for just a minute. I'm going to bring the other one in. Let's see. Now I'm trying to just use a variety of all of the colors, and I know that I've already used several of the colors. So I think I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. That's probably not typically what you think of as a heart color, right? But we're just going for the fun of it right now. And actually, I will show you the Granny Apple Green. This is the color it is, right? That's how interesting color can be. And also you'll notice, like with the Melon Mambo that I just completed, there are lots of different colors in the mix that's called Granny Apple Green. It's not just one solid color. It's kind of mesmerizing when you start working with it. And you can use it on watercolor paper, or you can use it on our shimmer white paper. And that's just a beautiful, different effect because that paper has shimmer embedded in it. Okay, now see, I think that's too much. So I'm going to tap it off. That was too much, even coming out of that little dot. So let's try that again. I always tell my stampers that if they spill this at my stamp camps, they're going to be, I would kick them out. I think it would just like ruin carpet. It would ruin clothes. And you just want to be really careful with it. Let's see. Can we get some of this out? There we go. Okay, that's about the speed I like. I think we may have to just activate some of this and see what we've got going on. Ah, there we go. Now see all of that. There's a lot of Bermuda Bay in this Granny Apple Green. And we definitely need some more at the top to kind of make that heart stand out, right? Make those shimmers stand out like they're supposed to. And we want a little bit more down at the bottom because we are going to be using the majority of this piece of watercolor paper. And again, this is a 2.5 by 3.5 slice of fluid 100 paper. Okay, now I have to bring the heat tool back in again. It won't take long though. I want to heat set these so that we can create with them right away. If you weren't going to create right away, you can just sit these off to the side in, you know, in an area to dry, and they probably would be dry in a half hour. So, okay. They dry really quickly with the heat tool because this is watercolor paper, so it's meant to do this. And I just move back and forth to keep the paper from bowing too much on one side or another. We will be gluing it down, and so it will end up just fine, but it's a little easier to work with if it's kind of straightened out. You can just work from one side to the other. Pretty sure that's good. Let's move on to the Granny Apple Green. I love this color. Like, it might not be the best color for a heart, but it's beautiful. It's actually kind of a Grinch heart, isn't it? You could use that for a Christmas card with the Grinch heart. That's a great idea. I may have to do that sometime. Oh, that's really pretty. I'm really liking that. Okay, I think we're good. Now, if you want to keep the paper just extremely straight, you just need to tape it onto a hardboard and then work with it that way and let it dry that way. Oh, we have some really beautiful examples right here, don't you think? Look at this one. I love it when you can see the little varieties of all of the different sprinkles that are included in the color. So, very cool technique for very little work. Wouldn't you agree? It's the perfect thing. It's what I like. So please don't forget the pigment sprinkles. They are $30 for 6. This is a very large amount. You saw how little it takes to make the image pop out. So once you buy them, I think you're probably not going to have to replace them unless, like I said, unfortunately, you were to drop them or something. But just make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this green one out fully. I want this for the cover of the container I'm going to use. And actually, what I'm going to put these in is I'm going to put these in one of our small mini pizza boxes. Yes, we have mini pizza boxes. They are food safe. You can stamp on them or do other techniques on them. And lots of things fit in them. One thing that fits in them are our Stampin' Up's 3x3 note cards. Perfect fit. So that's what I'm making today, actually, are 3 little note cards to fit inside this pizza box. And I think at this time of year, it would make a great non-food Valentine's gift. You know, that's a handy thing to know this time of year, because not everybody is doing chocolate, maybe. I know, I can't believe that. Or maybe you have an extra special person that you would like to give candy and a gift to. Well, this is a really cool gift. It's both kind of a card from you and then cards that they can use later. So the modern heart does not have a specific die cut, but it doesn't matter because it has straight lines, as you see. So it's very easy to cut out. And I really was just cutting around those lines. I wasn't cutting up to the embossing part. I just was cutting straight lines around it. So that is how simple that is. And then for this one, we're going to do something a little different. This is what we're going to use to make our card out of, our last note card. So one thing I'm going to do is I am using the layering circles. We have circles, well, we have all shapes is what I should say. I shouldn't get all wrapped up into giving you the whole list of shapes we have. But I highly recommend them if you are looking for kind of some staples when you are buying dies. It's great to buy the layering shapes because, well, I'm going to show you why it's great for the circles, but you can just use them with any stamps, and you can create lots of different looks with them. So today we're going to do something kind of fun here, but still simple, okay? So you can see the heart is coming up over the die a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to kind of make an outline on the circle. So I know where the circle is going to meet the heart, okay? Just stick with me here for just a minute. And then I'm going to cut everything out above that pencil line, okay? And cut into, or cut beyond that pencil line just a tiny bit. And we're going to make kind of something that's a partial heart shape and a partial circle. We want this heart to kind of be popping out of this circle shape, okay? So this is what you do. And then you can see there's my pencil mark, okay? So I know I want to cut in past the pencil mark just a little bit, but following the heart shape, okay? If that makes sense, and I hope it does. So like, here's our pencil mark. I've cut a little further. I want to do that so that I can feed this circle die back behind the heart, okay? This is how we're going to get a partially cut shape. It's just a little more interesting than just a plain circle, right? Okay, now we need a die cutter, and I'm going to use the Big Shot for this. I think it's really clear and easy for you to be able to see it on camera. So let me try and get this in here so you can see the whole thing, or most of the whole thing, right? And we need some plates. I will be using the magnetic platform and plates. This is not currently available through Stampin' Up. I'm so sad to say. However, the good news is, it's good news, bad news, because the good news is Stampin' Up will be coming out with their own die cutter and embosser very soon. It will be available in the new 2021 catalog, which will be available to customers in June. Available to demonstrators, I believe, in May. I don't know if that's been officially noted or not, but you can kind of guess that it will be. Okay, here's what we have now. We have kind of this funky design, right? And it's not totally centered, and I didn't want this one to be, but you can put it, you can place it anywhere, and you can do this with lots of different shapes. Okay, so now I'm going to take the scalloped shape that really is kind of like the very same shape as this heart, and that's what I'm going to cut my note card out of. And the way I'm going to make it a note card is that I've got a folded piece of paper here. It's like 4 by 8 and scored at 4. And then I'm going to take this scallop, and I'm not going to put it this way, because if I did this, it would cut fully through. This is kind of like how we cut the heart, right? We're going to leave a little bit open at the top, and that way the die cut's not going to cut this, and this will be the fold at the top of our card. And then that gets run through the Big Shot or die cutter of your choice. I also use a Gemini Junior, and it's just not easy to film. So, but I like them both equally, and I think they both have their own specific strengths. Okay, so now you have a cute little card. That's adorable, and it's Melon Mambo. And remember, we used Melon Mambo pigment sprinkles for our heart. Okay, so now that I have everything I need from the Big Shot, I'm going to put it away right now. Thank you for your service. Yes, it's never too far away. And hopefully it's not going to come crashing to the floor, because I don't have time to pick it up and put it away where it normally needs to be. Okay, this is kind of fun now. We get to just put some things together, right? Okay, so let me show you what the cards end up looking like. They end up looking like this. This is a card that is done in the Gorgeous Grape pigment sprinkles. And then I've just cut, again, with our layering circles, you use one of the smaller circles to cut out, excuse me, a white insert or whatever color. I am a big proponent about making inserts be not white, because it's standard, right? And we don't want to be standard. But in this case, they're going to be white because everything else is so bright. So I really love this. I think it's a really special little card. And then what I've done is we have 3x3 note cards, right? And I took one of our little modern heart images and stamped that in Gorgeous Grape Stampin' Ink, classic Stampin' Ink. So I didn't use the pigment sprinkles for that. And then this just fits right down in these beautiful envelopes. These envelopes are the same great quality of our normal sized envelopes. And so I wouldn't put my handmade cards in anything else. No way. I'm not going to all this work and then using a cheaper quality envelope. And really, for a few pennies more, these are the envelopes to have. So we're going to set that off to the side so you can see this is the example. All right, this is what we're working towards. Here's another one. This was the Melon Mambo, and I just put I put the sentiment inside. So that one's going to remain as it is. And now we have our Melon Mambo. So let me work on this one. And I already have a little circle cut out for the inside of this. The only other thing we're going to need is to stamp a sentiment and stamp something inside if we want to. So I really like that little tiny modern heart. That's really pretty. And since we are sticking with doing kind of a monochromatic look, we are definitely going to stamp this in Melon Mambo. I'm just going to put it up kind of like that. It's beautiful, beautiful little detail to add on the inside. That's what makes this collection really special is that your cards look so much better than something you would buy at the store. And you can personalize them for your recipient. Now I'm going to use a little Tombow. I found that this Tombow works the best for this little project. Although you can also use snail if you feel like it, or tear and tape. But I want a little wiggle room to make sure everything is properly spaced, and I get that when I use the Tombow. So here we go. Now this one, I did a little off center, kind of on purpose. See, I wanted the heart to not be pointing straight down, and I think I achieved that. You can kind of tell right here from the indent marks, that's where you don't want your glue to be. You don't want your glue to go past that, because that's kind of where it's going to be up above the cardstock. So we're going to put this off to the side a little bit. Again, it's just interesting and fun, right? And then once I can see it's all centered around the scallops, I'm just going to hold it in place. It doesn't take long. That's the one kind of really cool thing about our mono, is that you can move the image around a little bit. You have a little bit of wiggle time, and then it solidifies and it's a done deal. So that, is our beautiful little Melon Mambo heart. Now I think it should have a sentiment too. So not all of these sentiments are going to work on this particular note card, because some of them are a little too large and we don't want to cover up all of our beautiful watercoloring. But I think we could definitely use I Just Love You. I think that would be a really good one. And of course, it's very fitting, right? A fitting thing to put on a heart. It could kind of be over here. Let's give that a try. So I've got a scrap of Whisper White. I always use Whisper White thick. It's what I like. So let me move these down again. Sorry, out of screen a little bit. That's no fun. And I get a block for this. These are our cling stamps. So they just hold beautifully to the blocks. And I am using StazOn Jet Black. It's, you have your choice of Memento or StazOn Jet Black, or any other colors you want. I find that when I'm using black, if I really want it to be extremely black, jet black, then I use StazOn. StazOn requires a special little cleaner though. I hate to say I'm lazy, but sometimes I don't want to get it out. Can you believe that? Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to clean a StazOn stamp. And then you're going to wonder why I don't just get it out when I feel like it. So I've got a baby wipe here. And here's what I do. This is our StazOn cleaner, okay? And so you just, it's kind of like a roll-on. Well, not kind of like, it is. I roll it on. Of course, the ink goes away almost instantaneously. Then I dry it off on the baby wipe. And then I kind of wipe off any residue from the baby wipe on my Simply Chamois. And that's it. It's as clean as it was when you first started using it. So, perfecto. That's all you need to do. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of a little StazOn. All right, that's going to go over here for now. And then finally, in keeping with the theme of the other envelopes, I am going to stamp a tiny heart in Melon Mambo onto the front of my envelope. And let's see here. I should have stamped this when I was stamping the inside, but not to worry. I keep my inks very handy, and that is why. Okay, then finally, I just want to clean that so I don't stick my hand in it. I'm going to grab some Granny Apple Green ribbon. Now, I'm sure you already know that the great thing about, well, one of the great things about Stampin' Up! Is that we have perfect color coordination between products. So when you find Granny Apple Green ink, you will find Granny Apple Green embellishments, Granny Apple Green in our designer series paper. You'll find Granny Apple Green in ribbon. And so you don't have to really think too hard about it. You can just put it together. All right, I'm going to attempt to cut this into a square. Freehand. I don't know, I may have gotten really close to doing that. One other thing you could do is you can always cut the sentiment apart if you like to do that. You can cut it on the bias like I did this, or you can cut it with any little punches or die cuts that you have. I think this is going to look really pretty. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. Let me get this out of the way so I don't end up putting it in my pizza box, gluing it down or something. And I'm just going to use a couple of our Stampin' Dimensionals. These are dimensional adhesives, so they have a little sponge in the middle, and they're double-sided adhesive, so they pop up anything that you want. And often when we are working with these projects, we just say, we're going to pop this up, and that's what we mean. Those also come in mini, so that if the thing that you want to pop up is very, very small, you can do that also. Okay, the final thing is we need to look at our container, right? What are we going to put all these lovely creations in? And this is the pizza box. It comes just like a regular pizza box. Isn't that great? You can stamp on it, okay? And then inside, like I said, it's glossy because it's food safe. So you can put a little cookie in here or some candies, whatever you want. Today, it's going to be full of note cards. And this is just, again, really nice quality. They're not flimsy. They will hold up. They're reusable. That's kind of fun too. You can totally just change the, you can give this as a gift, and if you receive it as a gift, you can reuse it as a gift container for something else once you use the cards, or you can change up the design on the top. We're going to keep our design pretty simple today. Now you just like fold in the front to get your box started, and there's lock-in tabs in there, and then that's it. That's how your box goes together, just like this. Okay, so like I said, we're going to keep ours simple. We're going to put this really pretty heart on there. We're going to pop it up, remember, on some dimensionals, and we're going to add some of this ribbon. Now I'm trying to decide how. I think I just want a big, beautiful kind of a knot, This ribbon just does that really well. Okay. And I'm going to cut the ribbon on the bias. It's just normally what I do. And also that keeps your ribbon from unraveling. So that's generally why you see it like that. Ooh, pretty already. Okay, so that's our Granny Apple Green textured weave ribbon. Comes in 2 other colors. So, again, it's beautiful to have on hand. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Oh, love it. Okay, let's put this up on dimensionals, right? We know what dimensionals are now, so no worries. And actually, these are cut in the shape, pre-cut for you in the shape of hexagons, but the outside is dimensionals too. So if you have a certain piece of something that needs a straight line, or if you're just getting ready to finish with all the pre-cut pieces, don't throw the edges away. They're great. They're perfectly fine. And sometimes they work better for the shapes you have. So anyway, give those a little push, adhere those on. Oh, this is fun. I'm so glad I got this modern heart out this morning. I had kind of forgotten how much I loved it. But that's how it goes sometimes, You kind of put something aside and then you get reminded again, like, oh, it's so beautiful. Now, where do we want this little ribbon? We can really put it anywhere. We can put it right in the middle, and that might be the best. But I'm going to put some mini glue dots on it right now. I'm just going to put some mini glue dots on the knot, and that's where it's going to hold down. I'll put a couple. Probably only needs 1, but I don't want this to fall off. So we will just put put it like this. It's so cute. And then, of course, we're going to put our note cards in here. Now, I just like to stack them with their matching envelopes, right? So we've got the Melon Mambo with note card. We've got the, I want to call that Mambo, but it's Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, and Gorgeous Grape. You could even put 4, maybe 5 cards in there total. And then that is your beautiful little gift for any little Valentine's sweetie you have. Thank you so much for watching me at the Stamping Zoo today. And if you liked this, please jump over to Pinterest or Facebook. You can follow me on my blog at thestampingzoo.com. And of course, you can look for more videos here on my YouTube channel. Thanks again.